Well, I decided to stick with the theme of things you got at Christmas, and this year it's going to be MP3 players. I do remember before that watching Drago1's video on putting an MP3 player type application on DOS. The application in question is mpxplay. At some other point later, I discovered the Intel Galileo and discovered that it had basically what amounted to an x86 CPU, and then the idea started turning. Maybe I could get one of these and actually make an MP3 player that ran MS-DOS, and then in turn mpxplay. But I soon realised, well, I can't really use this because I have absolutely no idea how to get anything on it going. So for a little while I shelved this idea. That was until I saw a video by the Rasterai which showed some kind of Arduino type device with an x86 processor on board. At the end of his video, however, this led on to a video from a man called Evan Bowler. He created this thing called the tinyllama, and this was basically a small board that used that same CPU but had pretty much everything you needed. Hopefully this will be the very thing we need. As any good project has, this has a GitHub, and it was full of all the information we needed to get going. So let's have a look at what we got. So this is it. This is the tinyllama, at least the version I got done. I got some CPU rails as well as the graphics card which goes on the back here. There it is, folks, the brains of the operation. And also this is the graphics card, and there you've got the cable. First of all, we need to refer to the GitHub, which has all the instructions on there for actually programming the BIOS. I'll just insert a little picture of what everything looks like on the desk. 3, 2, 1. Doesn't seem to be showing anything unless the scaler isn't working. We're going to try this again. Everything's plugged up. Off we go. Oh my god, it works! Alright, okay, fine, great. With that slight panic out the way, it was now time to flash the BIOS. I made a virtual machine in VirtualBox and then managed to make the program load automatically, and it seemed to work pretty nicely. I wondered if maybe it would be easier now that I have a working virtual machine if I just basically pushed this onto the SD card and then tried to load it up. I then used an application called HDD Raw Copy to push the image to the SD card. During this time I tried various methods to get an operating system to load on this and it just wasn't, so I had to go back to basics. I felt like giving up on all kinds of stuff. After I had a little word with myself, I approached the situation far more logically. The problem actually lay with the SD card slot itself. Those little solder connections, 2 of the pins weren't even soldered down, and one of the pins was actually the very thing that you require for detection of SD cards, so it was never going to work. It's been fixed and I just want to show you something.